In this lesson, we got an introduction to using the command line interface and several commands with options and arguments. All of these commands that we have typed have been stored in history. So the bash shell includes a history command. If I type history, it'll list the commands that I've run. Notice that in front of each of these commands is a number. There are a number of things that I can do with this history. For example, instead of showing all commands, I can use the history with a number like 5 and only show the most recent 5 commands that have been available. I also have the ability to use the up arrow key at my prompt and scroll through previous commands that I have issued. From here, I can then make changes or edits to the command that I want to issue, either successfully or unsuccessfully for that particular command. I can also make use of the numbers in order to rerun a specific command. For example, looking at my history, I see that command 471 was a date with a -u. So one of the special characters at the bash shell is the exclamation point, often called the bang. With a bang and the number of the command that I want to run, it'll reissue that particular command. In this case, it has echoed to the screen the command that it's going to run, and then actually run that command and provided its output. I could do this with any of the numbered commands. There are a few additional shortcuts with this bang or exclamation shortcut. Again, with history, I can specify I just want the last 10 or so commands, and I can use the exclamation or bang, and I can specify a letter that would be the beginning of a previous command. For example, bang D will run the most previous command, which started with the letter D. If I specify more than one character, it would have to start with that particular string. For example, I could say a bang HI in order to run the most recent command that started with HI, which is simply the history command from a couple commands ago. So I can use the exclamation point with a number of a command to rerun that command, or I can use the exclamation with the beginning of the characters of those commands. One other special case with the exclamation is the most previous command. So again, a history 5 here. If I want to run the exact same command again, I can use bang bang. It's the same as issuing the up arrow in order to recall the previous command, but I don't get any specific edit modes. The history is saved to a file on your system, so when you exit the shell and start again, you will still have the history from previous commands, previous shells that you have used. One final shortcut with the history is to search through the previous history. This is done with a Control-R. With Control-R, I get a new subprompt, a reverse I search. I can begin to type in a command such as date, and I can find the most recent command that includes that string. If I hit Control-R a second time, it'll find the next instance back in the history. I can also use the arrow keys right and left to then move around and change the behavior of how I issue this command, make alterations before I run it, or I could simply press Enter in order to run the particular command. It doesn't have to be a command the way that the command starts. For example, Control-R brings up reverse search, and I can type HE as in help, and I'll find the most recent time that -- help was given to a command. If I want to run this command again, I can simply hit Enter, and it'll run that command. So history and a number will show you the most recent number of those commands. These commands are numbered, and you can use the exclamation point or the bang key in order to recall a previous command by number or by the first few characters of that command, and you can use Control-R to search through your history and recall a previous command.